We have double severe weather threats for the Pacific Northwest, but also for the Northeast, and we have a fire risk in the Mid-Atlantic. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Pew. It's November 5th, 2025, and I think we're on day 3 of this atmospheric river event. Now, in terms of severity, today's probably the worst, with the Storm Prediction Center issued a marginal risk, or 1 out of 5, going from Northern California to a little bit of Washington State. And there's a low risk for all hazards on the table, and they're mostly going to be isolated. So, for example, we have a 2% chance to see a spin-up tornado, mostly along the coastline, and also an isolated chance to see winds up to 60 miles per hour and maybe even hail. And as I'm recording this video at 9 a.m. Central Time, you guys in the Pacific have already been seeing lots of rain that has been happening yesterday, last night, and this morning. And it's going to continue on pretty much throughout the day. Most of the severe risk is going to be lasting throughout the day until about 12 a.m. the next day. And so throughout the night, we're going to see less frequency of these storms, but it's going to continue on with more rain by tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. And so with that being said, the Weather Prediction Center did issue a marginal risk for flash flooding for Northern California and a little bit of northwestern Washington as well. And these same flash flood risks also pose a risk for tomorrow as well. Now, looking at 500 millibars or midway to the troposphere, this upper level low pressure system that we've been looking at the Pacific is finally here, and so it's bringing in a lot of wind shear. And so with that shear, it's going to be tilting those updrafts and prolonging those storms. And so with this trough, it's been transporting a lot of moisture from the Pacific into this area. And so even places like western parts of Washington, Oregon, and even Idaho may even see some showers as well. Now, if we look to the Great Lakes region, we can see that we have a massive trough being developed in this moment. And if you watched yesterday's video, we talked about a surface low pressure developing somewhere around the South Dakota-Wyoming border, and that's been pursued all the way to the Great Lakes region and now going into the Northeast. And so this low pressure is going to be causing two things. One, for the Northeast, we're going to see a marginal risk for severe weather, where we're going to see isolated risk for both winds and hail. And two, this low pressure is causing a fire risk, specifically in the Mid-Atlantic from West Virginia to Virginia and a little bit of Maryland. And so almost the exact same story as yesterday is going to happen here. With this low pressure bringing westerly flow, it's causing a lot of downslope warming going down from the Appalachian Mountains here. And downslope warming is essentially just an air particle going down from a mountain, and because there's more pressure than if it was on the top of the mountain, it's being compressed and thus warming up. And because it's warming up but its moisture content stays relatively the same, the difference between the dew point and the temperature increases, which is going to decrease the relative humidity, thus making it more dry. And so in this area, we're going to see relative humidities around 25 to 35%, which is somewhat relatively low, but we're going to have high sustained winds from 15 to 20 miles per hour. And with these high sustained winds, it's not just the Mid-Atlantic. We're going to see these winds also occur in places like the Southern Plains, Midwest, Great Lakes, and the Northeast. And so back to the Northeast, if we go upstate to places like New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, you guys are already seeing some showers probably this morning, and that's going to continue on pretty much all day, but it's going to be very light to moderate rain. Most of the isolated severe weather risk is going to start around the eastern side of Lake Erie, so about 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern time, and going to travel eastward. And so by around like 9 p.m. Eastern time, places like Northeast Pennsylvania, downstate New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut may see these risks.